So, good afternoon, one and all. I, CA Prajakta Paure, on behalf of Professional Development Committee of Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, would like to invite CA Mangesh Kinnare, Chairman, Professional Development Committee, to please give his welcome address.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Prajakta. I first of all thank the faculty for today's session, CA Maheshwar Marathe, for agreeing to spare his valuable time and taking us through this very important subject. Dear colleagues, as we all know, that the current era, the even in the recent budget also, the new entrepreneurship or new kind of a businesses, a lot of impetus has been given, and number of such initiatives and incentives have been introduced by the government year after year, and giving complete one kind of a help or this thing to the new businesses that they should come and they should set up their business houses in India in different states. Even different state wise also there are different initiatives which have been taken. Now, as a professional development committee, we thought that being a catalyst as a chartered accountant, being a catalyst in all these aspects, this itself is a professional opportunity. We can guide our client or in fact even a new businessman as to how to set up a business, what kind of avenues available, benefits available, incentives available, how one can approach about it, and in a very legitimate manner how to take benefit of all these initiatives of the government and lead to a proper businesses, giving contributing to the nation building and national growth. And therefore, as a chartered accountant, having a knowledge in financial sector, tax sectors, and different other business verticals also, we can be a contributory in this. And therefore, we thought that let us throw some light and understand about these aspects and see whether more and more chartered accountants can venture into it and be help. It will not only be helpful to the chartered accountant but also nation at large. And therefore this session has been kept, especially timing has been selected as per the suggestion by the speaker, that it should be immediately after budget, so that in a budget also we are used to only seeing the tax proposals. So what kind of these economic boosting proposals have been entrepreneurship and businesses, how the chartered accountants can venture into it. So this is some kind of a unique thought. Thank you,
I think he has a signal issue.
So, let's welcome our faculty for today then. It is my great pleasure to introduce. Okay.
I think let's wait for Mangesh for like 2 minutes.
Okay, sure. Okay, sure.
I think let's start with the faculty introduction.
Okay, sure. So it is my great pleasure to introduce our esteemed speaker, CA Maheshwar Marathe. CA Marathe is the managing partner of CMRS and Associates LLP, the first chartered accountancy firm established in Pimpri Chinchwad, Pune since 1974, with its head office in Pune and branches in Mumbai and Ahmedabad. CA Marathe boasts an impressive academic background, holding a Bachelor's of Commerce degree and being a fellow chartered accountant. His further qualifications include a diploma in information system audit, a diploma in insurance and risk management, a diploma in international banking and finance, and certification as an arbitrator by the Institute of Chartered Accountant of India. He has also completed a certificate course on forex and treasury management from ICAI. Since qualifying as a chartered accountant in 2002, CA Marathe has amassed extensive experience in the profession. He is practicing professional and a partner at CMRS and Associates LLP, specializing in SME matters, banking and finance. Before joining CMRS, he is served as a area credit manager at ICICI Bank, focusing on SME funding. CA Marathe's expertise spans bank audits, project report, bank finance, and various MSME matters, including arbitration, mediation, conciliation. He has held several notable positions, including designing and serving as a faculty for the certificate course on MSME by the CA Institute, contributing to the ICI guidance note on the audit of urban cooperative banks in 2020, and serving as an ex-managing committee member of the Pimpri Chinchwad branch of the CA Institute from 2013 to 2016. Additionally, he was an expert director at the Kalyan Janta Sahakari Bank since June 2015. An active contributor to the professional community, CA Marathe is a renowned speaker on MSME matters, having addressed various forums such as ICAI, SME organizations, banks, and colleges. He has also written several articles in leading journals on topics related to MSMED Act and MSME schemes. Please join me in welcoming CA Maheshwar Marathe sir. So you can start your session.
Thank you very much, Prajakta madam. Uh, my good afternoon to all participants. I am here to present this particular subject today, especially as Mangeshji said, after this yesterday's budget, we have many more things to discuss. So I have my formal presentation with me, which I'll be starting. And can there be the interaction in between, madam? Can you just help me with this? Can there be some interaction in between with the participants, or I have to just go on talking? When is the question answer session? Can you?
It's after this presentation.
After
We'll
the
take it. Yeah.
right. So I'm sharing my screen now. Yeah. So, friends, as the topic for today is recent government initiatives as far as MSMEs are concerned. So, normally I start with this one slide which explains the challenges that the MSMEs face, and I have given a few solutions also around every challenge that the MSME typically faces. So, in my view, there are four prominent challenges. So, once we define the problem, then we can start working around the solution. That's what we popularly hear and understand and work upon. So, these are the four challenges which for any MSME, and we, the solution providers, can think about, and more of we should be part of the solution. So, we'll be discussing about those solutions also, which in turn can be professional opportunities for us. And I normally take them as responsibilities more than opportunities. So, as a real facilitator in the entire economy, we chartered accountants, the partners in nation building. So, it is our responsibility more than opportunity. So, my request to everyone is let us take it that way. Let us understand these things. Let us understand these things, study these things in detail, in depth, so that we can really help our client, our entire MSME sector, help them in a way prosper. And yes, one more angle to all this is we chartered accountants, we are also MSMEs, we are service providers, so we are also very much part of MSMEs. We can register under with them. So it is both way for us also, and yes, as a solution provider for our clients also. So first prominent challenge which I discuss is how do I increase my business? For any MSME, for me, for you, every day I have this task. I need to go on increasing my business. That is my prime objective of being in business, and it's my duty also to increase my business. How do I fund my new orders? So this is now directly linked to my liquidity position. So how do I manage those funds? How do I generate those funds which are required to serve my new orders, especially? how do I manage my credit period? This is one more directly linked to liquidity, one more challenge which the MSMEs face day to day, and very prominent to me and you also. And fourth and foremost, are there any incentives for me? In a way, these are the four prominent challenges, or you can say problems or queries any MSME would like to overcome and would like to work upon, and we can definitely help them with the solutions. I have again to present it pictorially. I have jotted down few specific solutions also to every challenge. Like for example, how do I increase my business? So there is this GEM initiative of Ministry of MSME, which is around 4 5 years, around 6 7 8 years back. And this was taken up. How do I fund my new orders? So there is this new platform called Trades. So we should know about this. Then how do I manage my credit period? So this new initiative called MSME Samadhan. When I say new, it is in last 7 8 years. So hence only our topic today is the recent initiatives. Yes, we have very recent initiatives also, but few initiatives which have been taken up in last 7 8 years are also to be studied by all of us. Are there any incentives for me? So these are all examples like Spice scheme, which is just 1 month old. There is a PLI scheme. There is a cluster scheme. Again, to come back to how do I fund my new orders? So there is an initiative called 59 minutes of funding. There is a Startup India initiative. Then this team initiative is again linked to how do I increase my. There is a specific answer to this particular challenge. Then something very new which has come just last month, ODR, Alternate Dispute Resolution Forum. This is one more step beyond Samadhan for resolving the disputes as far as MSMEs are concerned. Then there is a gift scheme that has come very recently. There is a lean scheme that has come to regulate my business, to increase my efficiencies, especially in manufacturing. And ultimately, the MSMED Act. Normally, I discuss MSMED Act as one very important incentive and initiative for the MSMEs, because it is addressing many challenges, especially linked to liquidity, especially linked to recoveries of the dues from the customers of MSMEs. So I am sure you must have followed many of the developments which have happened in last 1 year or so, because MCA reporting, there is a change very recently in last just 30 days. These are 3 4 changes. MCA reporting, there is a change. Earlier it was a biannual reporting if there are dues. Now they have changed it to even if the dues are nil, the reporting has to be done. There is a change in the trades requirement. Earlier the limit was 500 crores. Now it has come down to 250 crores just in yesterday's budget. So 43BH, totally a new thing which has come just last year, and we have discussed it so much, because now the being the tax audit season, we have to really work on it. We have to maybe make few disallowances, make our verifications. So these all things are in and around MSMED Act, which was passed in 2006. So in a way, I would like to take you to this formalization process in my next slide, wherein we'll spend some time and try to understand how the scene is changing, and especially in last 7 8 years, and how this is increasing my and your role as a consultant or even as an auditor. And based on this very process of formalization, the things that have changed, we'll come to know that how our responsibility is also going up, and how we have really found out a path of progress as far as the MSMEs are concerned. So that confidence we should get based on whatever we'll be going through this slide. So friends, you must all be knowing, first time in 2003, when Atal Bihari Vajpayee government was there, this Ministry of MSME was carved out from the Industry Ministry. So in late 90s, there was a demand to carve out this ministry from the Industry Ministry, because yes, it is a very important kind of a sector where huge number of MSMEs are working. They are the backbone for any economy. So ultimately, under Vajpayee's regime in 2003, this ministry was carved out. And immediately thereafter, this drafting of a new legislation was taken up. Ultimately, in 2006, the MSMED Act came into picture. After that, the real categorization of industry into micro, small, and medium. Then the act itself started regulating the credit period and the dispute resolution also. So the dispute resolution was mainly through these facilitation councils, which we see all over India. Every state has formed these councils. So formation of councils started thereafter. Then we in 2015, say after the 9 long years in 2015, ultimately the MSEs found this Udyog Aadhar, which was nothing but a online registration for MSMEs. Till then, we had this total manual system of registering an MSME. It was on the will and wish of the person sitting in the government office, who used to either give the registration or deny the registration, or used to give a long list of requirements for registration. So ultimately, Udyog Aadhar made it possible for all of us to register online without any fees. It was totally hassle free. So kind of a registration, 2015. Then in 2016, 2017, we saw this MSME Samadhan. The Samadhan will definitely be discussing. We'll be discussing even one more step ahead of Samadhan, which has come very recently. In fact, that is our major part of our discussion today. So MSME Samadhan is again one more online initiative to file the claim of MSMEs where there is a dispute between a buyer and the MSE supplier. So MSME Samadhan was an online platform. Then few initiatives in and around the MSMED Act. Like I say this, just making a law is not enough. You have to create the enablers. You have to strengthen the processes. So GEM and TREADS, both such initiatives which are in a way helping the MSMEs to overcome this red tapeism and overcome these delays, overcome kind of corruptions, and better their liquidity. So these two things are very, very welcome. Again, 17, 18, they started. Trades compulsion, like I was just mentioning this, any company whose turnover is more than 500 crores. Now it was made 250 in the recent budget. But earlier in 2018, this initiative was taken. Any company, any PSU whose turnover is more than 500 crore, they have to compulsorily onboard any of the trades platform. Now, I am sure we all know about what is trades. So this was one thing which made it compulsory for all big sized companies to register on trades and start paying the MSC suppliers, their MSC suppliers through trades platform only. And a very welcome initiative, a very welcome amendment that has come recently, yesterday, is lowering this 500 crore limit to 250 crore, now aligning it to the definition of MSME, where medium enterprise is defined as turnover up to 250 crores. So any non-MSME has to now compulsorily onboard on any of the three trades platforms, and they have to start paying their MSC suppliers, in fact MSME suppliers, through this trades platform only. So I'll come to this in detail when I discuss about the budget initiatives. Friends, I was referring to this MCA reporting also. In 2019, this very notification of MCA has come. I am sure we all, as auditors of companies, corporates, we have noted this, well noted this, and we are complying with this, because this is expecting all the corporates, each and every corporate who are buying from MSCs and whose credit period is more than 45 days, or whose payment is delayed beyond 45 days. So there is a concept called specified company. So if you are auditee in any year, it can be in any year, it can be a specified company, and it was required to file this particular MSME 1, MCA form MSME 1 every half yearly. But very recently, this notification again was amended, and now the requirement is whether you have overdues or not. If you are buying from the MSCs, you have to file this particular form. That is the requirement. So we need to be even more careful now because of these amendments. As far as auditing the companies are concerned. We all know in 2020, much awaited definitional change in the limits of MSMEs that has come in. And after that, in fact, 99% of the entities are now getting classified as micro, small, or medium. Only 1%, because of the parameters, they are beyond MSME. And finally, the much discussed section, very recent 23-24, section 43BH amendment, wherein if the dues are not paid to the MSEs, then there is a direct disallowance. So, friends, again, to summarize, this particular formalization of this particular MSME sector, the strengthening that has taken place in last, especially 7-8 years, is commendable, is increasing my and your responsibilities, is creating a lot of opportunities for the MSMEs. It is giving a very strong kind of a fortifying structure to the MSMEs. And I would again say this is just the beginning. There are 10 more things which are in pipeline, and few of them will be discussing now as part of the new initiatives, where definitely few opportunities and responsibilities are coming our way. Ultimately, why so much of buzz in and around MSMEs? The reason is very simple. 7 crore units, including home, cottage, village, tiny, and home, these units. 69% of total 7 crore units are home, cottage, or village units. They need my and your services. They need my and your advice. 20.58 crore workforce, second biggest after agriculture. Now, this particular figure is a real-time figure. You can go to Udyam registration website and find out the employment figures declared by all the registered entities. So this is a real-time today's data. 20.58 crore is the workforce employed, but definitely based on the self-declaration. This is the data that is coming in on the portal. 6,000 plus products contributes hugely to all these parameters, the GDP, the manufacturing output, the exports, and hence for any economy, and accordingly for India's economy, they are the backbone, and they are rightly the priority sector. Will not go much into details of what is the new definition, how but one or two things definitely I am taking you through, and that includes important provisions of MSME Act. As I said, to serve my client better, I need to know, because yes, I am sure all of us, we read daily either the Income Tax Act or the GST or the Companies Act. It is our duty, it is our responsibility to read it continuously. Then only we can serve our clients better. Friends, believe me, because of all these developments in last 3-4 years, it is our equal responsibility to read the MSMED Act also. The notifications coming in and around the MSMED Act, be it from the Ministry of MSME or MCA, we need to read them so that we can serve our clients better. Like, for example, this one thing which was not there earlier under the Udyog Aadhar regime. Now it is made very, very clear since 2020 that while issuing any certificate, certifying any entity as micro, small, or medium, we need to be very, very careful, because the notification which amended this particular act in 2020 has made it very clear that now the Udyam registration is PAN linked. Earlier, it was you were able to generate it unit wise. Suppose you have a unit in Pune, you have a unit in Delhi, you have a unit in Chennai. So you were allowed, in a way you were able to generate 2 or 3 Udyog Aadhar registrations, but now it is not possible. So while giving these certificates, as far as MSME certification is concerned, be very, very careful. It is one PAN, one Udyog Aadhar registration. Unit-wise Udyam registration certificate not allowed. All units with GSTIN listed against same PAN shall be clubbed and collectively treated as one enterprise. So multiple units can be there, multiple activities can be there, but the URN is only one. So suppose a client comes to you from, say, Chennai, and he wants a certificate for Chennai plant because it's supplying to Chennai customers. So his customer wants some certificate that what is his supplier? Is he a micro or a small or medium? So in that case, my duty comes is I have to take entire balance sheet of the entity. I have to collect the consolidated balance sheet of the entity and issue the certificate based on the turnover or the investment that is there in the entire consolidated balance sheet, unit wise definitely. Then one very important one more thing which I would like to highlight, because this again concerns us when consulting the MSMEs as far as their classification is concerned. That is transition from micro to small, small to medium, or vice versa. So here I would like to highlight this. If you have any queries, questions on this, yes, definitely we can discuss them. Graduation lower to higher category or vice versa is very clearly defined now. Earlier, there were some ambiguities, but now the ambiguities are not there. They have, first of all, they have given the base year, they have defined that. So now, for classification in any financial year, your base year will be so and so, that is already defined. So, if you can see this table, it is very clear for financial year 2021. The classification would be based on our reported data of financial year 18-19. So there is a year lag in between. So 1920 is the year lag. Otherwise, 18-19 is my base year for my classification in 2021. Likewise, if I have to check it for say 24-25, like the current financial year where I am, so my base year would automatically be 22-23 financial year. Whatever is my financial, whatever is my GST data filed, based on that, I would have been classified in 24-25. Ideally, the classification gets reflected by June end. So already for 24-25, auto updation of my Udyam has happened. So this is how it has to be calculated. So here again, as a consultant, many a times your client who is filing for some kind of tender, he is facing the problem. His classification is not maybe what he was expecting. So this base year, if you know very well, then you can guide him. One very important thing beyond this base year is this, where there is a upward change. Like you will agree with me, wherever there is a upward change, like for example micro to small, or say medium, small to medium, or even for that matter medium and beyond, he is going just out of the MSME definition itself. So there can be concern that whatever benefits he was availing as that lower grade unit, say micro unit, will he lose those benefits immediately? So that concern always might be there for any entity. That is also now very clearly has been given. So wherever there is a upward change, the entity will maintain its prevailing status till the expiry of 1 year. Let us read it till here only, from the close of the year, which is very clear in this base year related table that I have given. But please read the next sentence separately, which says, even though your Udyam registration status changes, the benefits will continue for 3 years post the change. Like suppose you move from small to medium in say 24-25, the current financial year. From the date of this change, you will still continue to get the benefits of being small in for 3 more years from the date of change, like for 24-25, 25-26, 26-27. Now what are those benefits, how can I avail them? Yes, there is a process that is also defined, we can discuss them separately maybe, but based on this particular notification, many entities are continuing with their benefits. They will not lose the benefits immediately. So this is one very important thing. Again, as I said, wherever your client is into tendering, is going for say even recovery of his dues, this will definitely play a role. Because in the Udyam certificate, maybe you are not small, you may be reflecting as medium, but still your benefits you may have to demand. There is a process, as I said, that process has to be followed and we will get those benefits. The process is nothing but a written representation, a written complaint, or a written request that has to be sent to the ministry through this portal called MSME champions. This is a single window portal. You can note that portal. It is a very, very effective real-time portal. Whatever you post it as a grievance there, you get the reply maximum in 2 or 3 days, and you get the solution. So this is my experience working in this field so far. So I can assure you that the redressal happens immediately. So it is a commendable thing that ministry has put in place, and we should make use of it. Like same thing, the reverse graduation is simple. There, the ministry wants to tell you that if you are coming down, say from medium to small entity, you will be welcomed immediately. You will not be made to wait. So, like because you are coming to a lower category, from say upper category, immediate benefits of the lower category will be made available to you. I think both the things I have displayed here on the slide. So I hope this makes it very clear. And as I said again, whenever your client with a real-time query comes to you, this will definitely help. Friends, just to summarize what has happened till now in as far as MSME Act is concerned, so I would just like to take you through these bullet points so that we just recap the provisions of MSME Act, the enablers that have that have brought a few changes. So credit period between MSC seller and any buyer cannot exceed 45 days. This is the basic section of the MSME Act. If there is no purchase order exchange, then the credit period comes down from 45 days to 15 days. If buyer fails to pay interest at 3 times the bank rate, now today's bank rate is 6.75%, hence the per annum applicable rate today is 20.25, but this is a monthly compounding rate of interest. So please note that while calculating the interest as an auditor also, we need to be very, very careful. If there is a delay in payment, principal has to be paid with interest only. This is one more section. If there is a dispute claim filing in MSC Facilitation Council, nothing but MSME Samadhan. Dispute resolution by council within 90 days through mediation and conciliation. Going forward, appeal only if 75% of the amount is deposited. For example, the MSC Facilitation Council gives some decision. If that decision has to be challenged by the buyer, he has to first deposit 75% of the decreed amount. Decreed amount includes the interest also. Please note that. It is not just the principal, it has to be principal plus interest, and it has to be deposited, and court has compulsion to pass on X amount out of the deposited amount to the MSC supplier. It is also compulsory, not discretionary. Final order with interest, if not paid, then the entity has to go into the recovery petition or the attachment petition, which is filed in the civil court where the customer is located. MCA reporting of MSC's dues by all companies twice a year. Now I added even if nil dues. So it is a compulsory form that every company has to file every half yearly. So some increased work for the company secretaries and you and me also. Compulsory trades registration if turnover is now more than 250 crore. Now let immediately start listing those of your clients. Yes, but who are company corporates and whose turnover is more than 250 crores. We need to immediately attach them to some or the other trades platform. There are 3 platforms. Fourth is in maybe is coming in. So there are 3 platforms. Any one of the platform has to be contacted and they should be onboarded. Audited to report MSC dues plus interest, qualify the report if there is a non-compliance. So these are the things which have happened in last few years and the status till date. And finally, this disallowance under section 43BH, there the responsibility again as far as tax auditor is concerned. One very important question comes to everyone's mind, whether entities are really paying this interest. So as I said, this rate of interest is so and so, it has to be monthly compounded, whether company is really paying this interest. So just for curiosity and your information, I have jotted down these figures. Like Tata Motors has paid or has provided 17.09 crores of interest in last 3 years up to 22-23. Definitely 23-24 data I have not jotted down. Mahindra and Mahindra is 10.92, close to 11 crores. And Bajaj Auto that says if we have no delays in paying, hence no interest is provided. So this was just for your information. Friends, because MSMED Act is the base act for all the other provisions as far as MSMEs are concerned. So I just tried to recap the provisions of MSMED Act for you. And now I'll be going to this MSME Samadhan initiative, which is in a way is the biggest kind of professional opportunity or area of practice. You can take it as where we can really make value addition. And I can tell you about myself. I am practicing in MSME Samadhan or dispute resolution for close to 8 years now, more than 8 years now. Thanks to ICI also, I have completed that certificate course on arbitration also. There is one more central act that is coming in. We should all study about that. That is called as Mediation Act. And we have a great role to play there also. If I have, I have to tell you about my practical experience, I am the only chartered accountant even today in this facilitation council who represent MSMEs. So एक ही ब्लू कोट है, बाकी सभी ब्लैक कोट्स है वहां पे. So all black coats, that is all my advocate friends, they appear there. I'm the only blue coat or the chartered accountant that coming in there. So you have very good opportunity in representing your MSE client. Government has taken a very recent initiative. I'll be definitely discussing about that. They want to reduce even this appearance in councils also, the great initiative which is linked to AI, artificial intelligence. So let us understand what is Samadhan, how it works, so that you get a feel of it, and maybe you can start helping your MSc clients going forward. Dispute resolution by MSc Facilitation Council, called as MSCFC. So this council sits at every block place. Like block is nothing but a group of 3-4 districts. Like, so for example, I sit in Pune. So in Pune, I have these Solapur, Kolhapur, all the 4-5 districts put together. This council sits in Pune. As far as Maharashtra is concerned, there are close to 10 such councils which are already formed. Highest is Uttar Pradesh. Whatever I have read so far, Uttar Pradesh has close to 20 plus councils, maybe even 30 councils sitting at every block. Definitely, Uttar Pradesh is very big state also, even population wise. So because this seminar is attended by from across India, so go and check for your state how many councils are. There are a few states where only one council is there for reasons best known to them. Maybe they'll go on increasing now. I'll not name the state, but few small states have only one council. Even few medium-sized states also have only one council, but maybe they have to increase this number of councils so that people are not required to travel. Many of these council proceedings nowadays are happening online also. So it's a good thing that is happening because of these video conferencing that has come in since COVID. In a short, again, one slide, I am explaining how the entire process of MSc Samadhan that takes place. Friends, when this platform should be used, this is very important for us to decide and sit with the MSc, which is the aggrieved party, and then decide, because normally the supplier and the customer has a good healthy relation. So ideally, any supplier would not like to spoil that relation. There are dependencies also. Many times supplier, in many cases, there is a dependency on the customer, rightly so. But at the same time, every customer would also like to nurture the relations with the suppliers, because he's a very important partner in his business. So any customer would like to have a very healthy supply chain. So it's a both way win-win relation. Still, when consulting your SME client, please be careful that we need not tell them something which will ultimately harm him in the long run. We are not, with due respect to this lawyer profession. We are not lawyers. We are here as solution providers. Normally, the lawyers, they have this attitude of uh, taking the cases to the court or maybe dragging them. With due respect, I don't want to blame anyone. But our approach should be not to drag, but to conclude, but to have a amicable conclosure of the case where it is win-win to both the parties. So when the supplier whose dues are overdue now and he wants to communicate with his customer and he has come to you for some help, there the process should start like this. The supplier should write a simple letter to his customer who is delaying his payments, and that should be a very softly worded letter, but definitely with provisions of MSMED Act mentioned therein. So it need not be on any advocates or your letterhead. It has to be on the letterhead of the supplier himself. It can be a simple email also, which he has to send to his customer. And the wording of the letter can be so simple that I am so and so, I have supplied to you on so and so date. It is so and so number of days now. It is overdue, as per even a reference to PO can be given, and then a para which should mention that I am a MSC supplier. I am a registered MSME. My Udyam number is so and so. So if you don't pay me off, or if the MSC is not paid within 45 days, as per the provisions of MSMED Act, there is so and so interest that has to be paid. So now my request to you is pay my dues immediately within 15 days of this letter, along with this interest as provided, so that we can go ahead and continue our business. So the wording of the letter should be like this. And in my practical exposure experience, in 30-40% of the cases, based on this very email, you get a positive response. Many a times you get part payment also. So the reply itself comes that so and so amount we have already paid and balance will be paid in so and so time limit. So why 40% of the cases people respond like this? Answer is very simple. MSMED Act is a very, very well worded and judicially backed act. It's a welfare legislation. So any person who receives this letter from his supplier, if he goes to his chartered accountant or his advocate, he normally advises him to pay him immediately. If he has to pay to 10 parties, he will advise him कि you first pay him. इसको सबसे ऊपर रखो. You prioritize him and pay him. Like if I would like to inform all the participants also. If some of your client who is a customer here, who is a buyer here, he comes to you with this particular letter, my advice has to be, yes, definitely go through the facts of the case. But ideally, we should not go into litigation with the MSC sub, because this particular mechanism that is created is a one-sided kind of biased platform, I would say, for all good reasons, because it's a welfare legislation. So if based on this particular letter, friends, if the payment is coming in, great. Else we can go and approach MSME Samadhan. Now, MSME Samadhan is an online portal, as I said. There are 2-3 things which have to be filed. As soon as that is filed, a auto-generated mail goes to the customer, because customer's email ID is given in the platform itself. So now this particular email or a letter that goes on the letterhead of the Ministry of MSME. Now there is an emblem of Government of India that is there, and under that emblem, this letter is going, and the wording of the letter is very, very simple and clear. It says, so and so has filed a claim against you. You are requested to pay the same within 15 days and produces the receipt. This is the wording of the letter. So if not in that first 40%, then this based on this particular email or this notice, balance out of 60%, close to 30-40% of the cases. And in total, in these first two stages itself, close to 70% of the cases, they respond because they understand the gravity of this notice. So based on Samadhan, if he pays, great. Otherwise, the facilitation council starts the hearings. So this is the stage where you can definitely help him. In fact, from day one, you are helping him. You can help him draft his replies also. You can help him have his email correspondence also. And if at those stages, if this is not working in, then you can represent him at the facilitation council also. Now, this is like a income tax tribunal only. Like we attend the GST tribunal or income tax tribunal. This is a tribunal where 3-4 of the members they are sitting, but the tribunal composition is very, very interesting. It is one banker is sitting in the tribunal, one representative of a SME organization is sitting in the like Chamber of Commerce representative is sitting in the council. So, though council members are such experienced people who really know about the pains of MSME. So, hence, it will not be a again kind of a judgment of a court. It will be a very, very balanced kind of a conversation with the council. In the council, the first hearing, the council says ki you sit together. Parties are requested to sit together and try to find out a solution. So there also you can play a good role of conciliator. Many a times, if self-conciliation is not possible, the council gives a representative who sits with these two parties and try to conciliate. And after all this, if the efforts all fail, and suppose the council passes the judgment, it passes in favor of the MSE, still the the customer is not paying, then definitely the execution petition has to take place. Definitely, execution petition is a lawyer's work. Me, and you cannot maybe represent or go to a civil court. So there you can hand over this case to some of your advocate colleague, and he can take it forward for recovery. Now, I'll not go into detail of what is recovery and how it happens. So I'm sure we must all be knowing about this. But let me give you this data. Since 2017, after launching of this MSME Samadhan portal, this is the case status. Till the time the entire process was manual, the number of cases were also very, very limited. Because this process of filing is made online, now the number of cases flowing to the council is also huge. I have not jotted down the amount of recovery that is involved in these cases, but you can just imagine around 2 lakh applications filed by MSEs. 18,000 mutually settled. 50,000 are still unattended, 25% of it. Now 53% are rejected by council. Reasons, now I'll caution you here. Many a times rejection is because of the document is not legible or some minor reasons which is not a real rejection of a case, but it is like submitting it for resubmission, sending it for resubmission. So, but as of now, how many cases they have rejected for many, many reasons? 53,000. Now, in last 3-4 years, the Samadhan portal has also undergone few changes. It doesn't accept those ineligible cases, like for example, trader. Trader cannot take advantage of MSME Samadhan. So we should know this. He should be a service provider or a manufacturer. Only then Samadhan portal can be approached by the MSE. If he is a trader, he cannot approach the Samadhan portal. So 53,000 definitely do not have the trader related cases because it has a auto filter. It will not only accept the though he is registered, he cannot file. Close to 38,000 cases are ultimately cases disposed by the MSE Facilitation Council. How? Through this arbitration, mediation, conciliation. And 39,000 cases are cases currently under consideration by MSEFC. In a way, 50% of the cases are unattended. Out of 53,000, those are rejected. They have just reduced their work. Many times, for very, very small reasons, it is rejected just to reduce the work. So we, as consultants, we should be very, very careful. If the case is getting rejected, it should be refiled immediately. In few cases, you may have to go and escalate against the local council to again MSME champions. As I said, MSME champions is the single window for all your queries as far as Ministry of MSME is concerned. Friends, this is the mechanism which is working so far. Even today, this is the mechanism that is working. Just 1 month back, in fact, in December 2023, the Ministry of MSME, they declared one ODR, that is Online Dispute Resolution Initiative. Through AI, using the artificial intelligence, they will be bringing in this one step ahead of MSME Samadhan. In fact, now this is called as pre-MSCFC. MSC Facilitation Council से पहले का process. If your entire dispute resolution fails on ODR, then you will go to MSME Samadhan. That means before MSME Samadhan, there is one more platform that is made available to you, and that is called as Online Dispute Resolution ODR for MSMEs. I have specifically mentioned this raising and accelerating MSME performance ramp here. Ramp was the terminology which was given in 2021 by the ministry. In the budget 2021, I remember that the finance minister first time announced about ramp, if I'm not wrong, 2021 or maybe 2022 it might be. Ramp is nothing but a program taken up by the ministry with a very good budget, wherein all such initiatives to speed up the process, to strengthen the processes, they will be spending. So one thing after maybe 2 years that has come in for is ODR. So now we'll go through this ODR, because again in ODR, we have a great role to play as a consultant, as an arbitrator. Friends, before, in fact, ODR also refers to this particular report. This is a global agency that has studied our MSMEs, and they have published a report which is popularly called as GAME report. And the findings on delayed payment to MSMEs, these are their findings, which are in a way shocking. And definitely, yes, this was the situation. Hence, MSME Samadhan came into picture, and hence ODR is also coming into picture. So an estimated 5.9% of GVA, gross value addition in Indian economy, which is at 10.7 lakh crore, is locked up in delayed payments from buyers to MSME suppliers. 80% of naturally of them are MSCs, that is 8.55 lakh crores. And what are the causes of delayed payments? Basic causes, again, as per the report. Power asymmetry between small suppliers and a large corporate buyer, naturally. Dependency. Government organization, public sector undertakings, it is a known fact that they are delaying the payments, though there are specific circulars, specific orders issued from the central government to all these PSUs that any MSC purchase should not be held back for more than 45 days. But by and large, there is a delay. They don't accept the invoices, they don't do the GRNs, and so on and so forth. And one more thing, what they have observed maybe, GST and NPA classification regime failed to account for delayed payments. A great observation, but yes, we also would 100% agree to that, that our NPA norms are not linked to what is your credit period. They don't see what is your credit period. They say only 90 days is NPA. But as a global kind of a report, they are observing that if my credit cycle is so and so, my NPA cycle should also be so and so. Maybe it should be aligned. Maybe that is their finding. And the GST again, but GST definitely has this credit disallowance if not paid within 6 months. It has some provision at least. So a few more details from the same report say delayed payments as a percentage of sales. Now, if you observe this, it is just going up. In 2018, it was 43% in case of micro enterprises as a percentage of sales. It has gone up to 65% in 2021. Ideally, because of Samadhan and all these initiatives, it should have come down. But definitely after 43BH, it may see some declining trend. But that is only in 23-24. I am sure your few SME clients must have told you or must have given this feedback to you. In March, we got really good recovery. Suddenly, we don't know why. The reason was 43BH. Reasons for delay according to buyers, MCA data. Now, MSME 1, the analysis of MSME 1 says, because there the reason has to be also given. So maybe a right reason that is given is mutually agreed payment terms more than 45 days, 44% of them. But this is just the number of people they are saying in a way reasons. Insufficient funds at buyer's end around 16%. Delay in submission of invoice 14%. Buyers dissatisfied with quality, reconciliation in progress, incomplete GST compliance, and MSME status not known to the buyer. So this particular analysis is really eye-opener for us also. Maybe part of the challenge, the real problem that is defining, now the solution has to be taken out. So considering this only, rightly the RAM program has rolled out this particular ODR as part of solution, online dispute resolution through the help of artificial intelligence. Really commendable, but as of now, today, we know only 20-30% of it. We still don't know which is the website. It is said that Samadhan portal itself will have this particular facility. As of now, that's not rolled out. I can tell you only what I have learned so far. I have not experienced it so far. So Indian law, friends, permits ODR and it has gained wide recognition in India from judiciary, the government, and the business enterprise. The NPCI has mandated ODR for complaints about failed transaction on UPI. This is already there. The ministry in one of its publications has said this. Ingram, SEBI scores, RBI CMS, Maharera, or for that matter, RERA, RTA Online are other examples of widely used ODR systems already existing. So based on these models only, now the MSME ODR is coming into picture. Same will now be used for dispute resolution of MSME receivables. So what is online ODR then? ODR is the modern counterpart of ADR mechanism, alternate dispute resolution, ADR, like negotiation, mediation, arbitration, etc. Powerful communication technologies, case management tools, and advanced technologies allow ODR to curate a quick, effective, and efficient case-specific solution. It synergizes legal support with modern IT tools. The use of ODR will play a tremendous role in easing the burden of MSCFCs. Please come back to MSCFC burden data. Close to 50% of the cases unattended. 50,000 unattended, 38,000 under process. Wrongly rejected 53,000. If not 53, at least 25,000 of them are wrongly rejected. So 1 lakh plus cases are just unattended. So in a way, it will definitely ease the burden on MSCFC. The time is ripe for ODR to solve the issue of delayed payments, constricting and crippling the MSMEs. The aim of RAM program is to strengthen institutions and access the market to enhance MSME performance. So digitally guided pathway. So this is one more terminology, DGP, digital guided pathway, pre-MSCFC. Now, as I said, again, this might be synchronization of data from various sources, because buyer is also filing his GST return, buyer is also filing his income tax return, buyer is also filing his MSME 1. So based on this particular data, the AI will do its analysis and it will give you a probable outcome of the case on the ODR platform itself. You need not go to the council. You may get your decision online. So what is the process that is defined? On filing delayed payments application, ODR platform, notice to be sent to the parties about filing of DGP. Parties will enter the DGP unless they opt for different outcome. Now every party has this freedom to opt for some other some other platform. If not, the parties will enter the facts into the online form. Now, Based on this particular sentence, it can be inferred that both buyer and seller both can go to this particular platform. In MSME Samadhan, only the supplier can go to the platform. But this is just my assumption. DGP will suggest a probable outcome. Parties may settle based on the outcome if parties agree mutually. If no settlement is arrived, parties may go to the next stage, negotiation. If opt out, parties enter into MSFC phase. So first three steps are pre-MSCFC. If some party doesn't agree, accept whatever is the online outcome, they can very well go to the MSCFC phase. Completely voluntary opt-out option is available. Yani any party can definitely voluntarily get out of this or voluntarily can resolve on this platform itself, on the DGP itself. Now, one more very important thing that has come in this is an incentivizing this litigation in a way. Going to MSC Samadhan portal or MSA Facilitation Council, or now this ODR platform also is being incentivized. Just don't say, just आप ये अन्याय सहते मत बैठो. You go and file your case. You go and file your claim. We are here to incentivize you. Like, see this pre-MSCFC stage, financial assistance up to 2,000 rupees for documentation. Now, this is per case. This maximum 50,000 rupees per case. Out of that, 2,000 rupees is for pre-MSCFC, and post-MSCFC, that is under Samadhan, they'll be giving you 48,000 rupees per case. And what for? 2,000 for MSCFC application fees, 15,000 for institution or center providing online service, 15,000 for arbitration service, and 16,000 for legal aid. They want to, in a way, incentivize, promote the MSCs to not to sit calm if your payments are not coming. If you are worried about the legal fees or the expenses that are involved, we are here to sponsor you. So friends, this is a paradigm shift kind of a approach in promoting the MSMEs to make them more vigilant about their liquidity, and accordingly this platform is also has come in, and the incentives are in place. But yeah, as I said, this is just now a trailer that is shown. Baki picture is baki hai abhi, so we have to wait maybe and understand how this is rolled out, how it works, because many other things I have with me, but I'm not able to correlate presented them. But this is just a trailer of it. Friends, in the first slide, I'm just moving ahead. In the first slide, you must have noted, how do I increase my business? So two things as part of solutions I had given. One was GEM, that is Government E-Marketplace. If you are registered on GEM, you can avail those offers. If you are not there on GEM itself, you cannot avail those offers, which offers in the sense, those tenders which are opening on the GEM platform. So you should be registered. That is very, very important. Similar one initiative is MSME team. Now MSME team is nothing but trade enabled enablement and marketing related support. Now an initiative to empower MSMEs with digital tools and a guidance to effectively utilize the e-commerce marketplace. Now again, as of now, what I have with me is a trailer, because this again is not launched. As I said, many things have recently come in. They had made the announcements. Now few details are available. You can still go wait for some time this to happen, so that as soon as that is rolled out, you know it, you have the first-hand information about it, and you can directly start guiding your clients. That is what we can do. What is the objective of MSME teams? MSME team. Expanding market reach for MSMEs to present their products and services to a wider customer base. Now, is it one more just e-commerce website? The answer may be yes, or it may have some different a different know-how also, a different angle also. Few of the things which the objectives are defining in a way show that leveraging digital public infrastructure by utilizing open network for digital commerce ONDC ecosystem in their native language, convergence with all government initiatives like Udyam database, M-Seva, DigiLocker, etc. So again, one more integration with various government initiatives might be the USP of this particular e-commerce website, which you may not find with other e-commerce websites. Enhancing credibility and financial standing by establishing their digital presence and transaction history. Anyways, this is available with others also. Nationwide outreach and education to enable MSMEs to avail advantages and practically of embracing e-commerce platforms. Now there are incentives and initiatives also there. Incentives under the there are some small incentive is given per transaction. Incentive is prescribed already. I'm not going into what is that prescribed per transaction, but how they are going to give the MSCs, that is important here. Awareness generation and demand creation, catalog development and onboarding on ONDC network, account management support, subsidy for transportation and logistics, and subsidy for packaging. So you must have heard about Vishwakarma Yojana. So that was there. That is again a very recent launch again to small artisans. They are giving them 10 rupees per UPI transaction for first 10 transactions. So likewise, here if you are onboarding, you will be given to maybe 200 rupees per transaction for first 10 transactions. So that table is already there. I'm not just reproducing it, but you can find it out. So again, one more formalization effort, I would say. Come on these digital platforms, display your products, avail our services, avail the incentive also. So friends, as I said, the responsibility, we have this responsibility of going to this unserved class. As I said, 69% of the 7 crore units are home, village, tiny cottage units. So we need to be somewhere reaching to them. One more initiative again, Udyami Bharat Portal. Today only I have just confirmed with Ministry of MSME whether something is launched. So they say no, this is under development. But just beforehand information to you. Streamlined registration process of MSMEs, comprehensive repository of government schemes and benefits, enhance transparency and accountability of business operations, increase visibility of MSMEs to potential customers, investors, partners, connect with their business, industry expert and government agencies, ensure transparency in operations and interaction with government bodies, regular update on policy changes and business opportunities. Udyami Bharat maybe is one portal. If you are registered there, will merge many other things into this and will help you as a one-stop solution for all your marketing activities and all those things. This is what I'm assuming. With this, friends, I'm coming to few recent initiatives as far as MSCs are concerned, micro and small entities are concerned. You can note this one website, green.msme.gov.in. This is one very recently launched website which is talking about these two schemes. One is gift, one is spice. Very recent, not even 3-4 months. SIDBI is the entity which is operating these both schemes. One is a interest subvention scheme, one is a technology linked subsidy scheme. There is a credit guarantee coverage also. So I am just covering them in say 5 minutes. MSME gift. Now why I'm again presenting this as part of professional opportunity. If you are consulting your clients in subsidy incentives, bank related, funding related, their projects, funding related services, then this is something which you should know. If you are serving the MSME clients where the borrowing is say from 50 lakhs to 2, 3, 4, 5 crores, which is the micro and small space, then this should be known to you. MSME gift to promote the adoption of sustainable and eco-friendly practices and technologies and renewable energy sources, to provide concessional financial assistance to MSEs for investment in adoption of green technologies and practices, to create awareness about best practices, promote knowledge sharing and benefit of adoption of green technologies and practices. So if with this objective, the components of the scheme has component of interest subvention and risk sharing and generating awareness. Interest subvention of 2% per annum for a period of 5 years, up to term loan limit of 2 crores for micro and small only. The loan size may be more than 2 crores, not a problem. Risk sharing. Loan, now in this bullet point number 2, the loan size can be more than 2 crores. You will get subvention for up to 2 crores. Loans up to 2 crores would be covered under this component. Rupees 125 crores will be used to provide credit guarantee to the participating MLIs, that is lending institutions. 75%. Again, this is talking about the coverage, that is the risk coverage, that is our collateral coverage. So here, any green initiative, it can be linked to solar, it can be linked to recycling, it can be linked to effluent treatment, right? So it will be incentivized. Any term loan taken for these purposes, you will get an interest subvention. Secondly, MSE Spice, micro small enterprises again who are registered under Udyam. MSE units must comply with extended producer responsibility EPR and waste cycling targets set for the industries. The investment of units should be towards 11 identified circular economy sectors as per the scheme guidelines. So here there is an incentive in the form of subsidy for promotion and investment of circular economy. How much are they giving? The loan size under MSE varies based on the project cost. For brownfield projects in MSEs, the maximum project cost admissible under the scheme is 50 lakhs with 25% subsidy on cost of plant and machinery only. Project costing more than 50 lakhs are also admissible under the scheme, but the subsidy is limited to a maximum of 12.5 lakhs. Again, your investment itself is not restricted. It can be more than 50 lakhs, but your subsidy is definitely restricted. Now, which are these 11 sectors, 11 identified CE sectors? So Niti Aayog has identified these 11 areas to help transition from linear to a circular economy. And this includes municipal solid and liquid waste, scrap metal, lithium batteries, tire recycling, rubber recycling, gypsum waste, end of life vehicles, electronic waste, toxic and hazardous industrial waste, used oil waste, and agricultural waste. So any investment in a brownfield in the sense already existing entity, which is now going into any kind of circular economy related investment, it wants to recycle its say agri waste, it wants to recycle its used oil waste, municipal waste, added machinery is say installed to process the liquid waste that is generating in your entity. All such investments will now be eligible for this incentive. Circular economy recycling facilities for extraction of minerals, any of few of the precious metals. Now this is a bigger incentive. Circular economy under spec schemes, that is if you are recycling the electronic waste, there is some different scheme. There they have given what are those precious metals, what are those electronic related waste you can process, and you can get a 25% upfront incentive. But there the maximum threshold investment is 2 crores. So if you are into recycling plant in itself of electronic waste, then your threshold is 2 crores and your specs related incentive is 25%. Earlier it is 50 lakhs, here it is 2 crores. Friends, with this, it is about the recent initiatives as far as few subsidies are concerned. As far as practice related opportunities are concerned, I am just now in next 3 4 slides. I'll take you through a few things which we already mentioned in our previous slides, but where we can play a good role as a consultant, which will definitely help your MSC client to better his cash flow. One such initiative is Trades platform. Now, Trades is an entity where there are three parties. One is a corporate buyer, second is a MSC seller, and third, banks and financial institutions. So all three might be in need of your services. Banks and financial institutions, they come to you with a request that you can identify and give your customers, your clients to us who are corporate buyers. Now, especially after this amendment of 500 crore to 250 crores, these banks and the trades platforms themselves, in fact, four people will be behind you. The trades platforms will also come to you and with a request that so and so list of your clients, they can be our potential customers if you can refer them to us. So in a way, sitting with your client, maybe a corporate buyer client, understand, making him understand the importance of this particular platform. Now there are many designing kind of services which what we can designing in the sense the financial cash flow designing. I'm not referring to any other designing here, but it is about cash flow of any entity, be it buyer or be it the MSC supplier. So there we can definitely play a great role. You can also help your as a corporate buyer onboard a Trades platform. You can make him tie up with a bank which is taking exposure on your corporate buyer. So Trades is a platform we all must already be knowing. It's an electronic platform of trade receivable discounting. It's a simple form of trade receivable discounting. But it is a platform where both buyer and seller, they agree to come into this particular arrangement. Whether MSC is liable to pay the banks if the buyer defaults in the payment, this is the main question that comes in. Whether if the buyer fails to pay the banker or the trades platform, is there a recourse? Answer is no. MSCs have no recourse on them. Very clear. It is a no recourse funding for MSMEs. Are there any charges of registration? They are very as good as free. Is it compulsory for all buyers? So now this 500 will go down to 250 crores. It's compulsory for all PSUs and corporates with turnover of more than 500. So Trades is one such thing where you need to explore the opportunities. There are three such platforms and just see their turnover that they have done, how this is getting more and more popular. 2020, 11 lakh crore, 11k crore was their business, 17k crore, 40k crore, and 23-24 they have done 150k crore plus. So the popularity itself is telling us what is the story. The numbers are telling us the story. Government e-marketplace. There are many hurdles in SME for MSMEs getting on board the GEM portal also. We can play a great role. There are many questions that come in. Like typically GEM charges, apply some charges. So should we really go for the charges, accept those charges and supply is the typical question. So based on the cost benefit analysis, we are able to tell them whether they should go or not. Again, a very popular platform. Government procurement, friends, you can just imagine this. 34 lakh crore is the India's annual public procurement annually. Out of this, close to 40% is from MSMEs, naturally. 25% is the mandate, but it is close to 40% that MSMEs supply to the government. 7 lakh crore cumulative procurement till date. Now it has gone up. Maybe this is 6 months back. 100% target in 3 years. So close to 40-50 lakh crore of procurement will happen through GEM portal in coming 3-4 years. So if a platform itself, I'm not able to participate. So in a way, you can shoot a mail today itself to all your clients, just inquiring whether you are there on the this GEM platform or not. And one more very important question, whether you as a chartered accountant, you are there on this platform or not. You can be one who is registered. You can participate in tenders. We can definitely participate and get the tenders also through GEM platform. This is one more thing. Prajakta madam, how much time we have now?
Sir, for more 10 minutes, and then we will start with question and answers.
Perfect. So, as far as incentives, that too central government incentives are concerned, cluster is one such area where we can get into, where we can play a great role as far as developing a DPR is concerned, detailed project report. We can also play a good role in defining the purpose of the cluster, bringing in the right participants to the cluster, and then representing the need of the cluster to the central government. Now, I'm not going into much detail of it. It's a detailed kind of a incentive. Close to 30 crore is sponsored by the central and state government put together. Definitely around 10 to 20% has to be contributed by the participants. Friends, one more initiative which a renewed effort is being made by the Ministry of MSME since last year. They brought this MSME lean again in 2024, and now they have taken a target of onboarding maximum MSEs, micro and small entities, in this particular scheme, and they are sponsoring 90% of the expenditure. I'll explain you about what is lean, but just to connect this thing, how do I increase my business? Again, that prominent challenge. I give lean as a solution on how do I increase my business. Reason is lean helps you improve your efficiency. With improved efficiency, with same set of machines, you can double your business. That is a proven case study, multiple such proven case studies. As far as manufacturing is concerned, this particular entire lean ecosystem is giving us. So there are multiple engineers, they are involved in implementing lean. It's a well-defined process of how a manufacturing setup should be. Whether it can be applied to a service entity or not, yes, to some extent it can be applied. We'll not go into that. But this is one scheme you can immediately search on portal, or you can take a clue from my presentation also, and send a straight mail to your all your manufacturing clients who are micro, small, or medium. Inquire whether they have registered or they have got done lean any time in the past, or are they now in contact with some of the entities who are implementing this. If not, they should immediately onboard themselves on lean portal, lean scheme. It is an intentionally acknowledged process. In fact, internationally acknowledged process of transform an organization to be competitive and profitable by reducing waste. Lean provides optimum use of manpower and machines, and also helps in identifying, correcting errors at the right time to increase quality, productivity, safety, and ultimately profit. There are objectives of this particular scheme: optimization of resources and space, enhancement of quality, and so on and so forth. Key benefits: speed order turnaround, the streamlined project deployment, many things mainly linked to the engineering part of it. Now, how much is the government sponsoring? So, total implementation cost which the government paying to the implementing agency is 3,60,000 over a period of 18 months. Out of that, 90% is sponsored by the government. Only 10%, if you count, say 10%, that is 36,000 rupees over a period of 18 months. The hardly for a cost of 2,000 rupees per month, you have a very skilled, experienced engineer sitting in your organization or visiting your organization for 18 long months. So the point which I want to highlight here is getting into some kind of the discipline is very, very important for our MSME sector today. So we can be the facilitator again there. And one more very good news for chartered accountants is you can be one of the implementing agency partner. A CA firm can partner as an implementing agency. You can onboard the engineers and you can become one of the agency of implementing the lean program. This is the most important part. Friends, I'll not go into much details of PLI because this is there in 14 sectors for long now. These are the sectors. I'm sure you must be working in this. You can start working in this. One very important distinction between a state run incentive program and a central run incentive program is in the central run incentive program, everything is proactive. The once you file your application, the ministry starts chasing you. This is my experience. Now there are multiple reasons to that. I'll not go into that, but this is one PLI is such scheme which is a central scheme. It is well administered. If you are any of your client is qualifying to this, definitely we have to go through each and every scheme. It has its own terms and conditions, but you will enjoy working for for PSI consult PLI consultation. So we should definitely try that. Last two things I would like to add, and which are again linked to the green related, the green initiatives, I would say. Again, the circular economy, waste solution, these are the very two important things which are rightly because environment is the biggest global agenda today. So, this is one risk sharing facility, guarantee cover, which is given by SIDBI to these particular municipal waste processing projects. Like you must be knowing in your own area, you may find a few installations which are coming in waste to CNG, waste to compost. These are the things now coming in. So even a housing society is going for it, even a big hotel is going for it. Even municipal corporations, they are installing big projects. So where it's a municipal corporation installing a project and your client is one of the vendor to it, he is part of this installation erection facility. There, debt guarantee on term loan for capex, working capital loan, fund based and non-fund based, kind of up to 12 crores of funding, a 50% guarantee that is given by the SIDBI. So the financial institution would be any banking institution. They are suppose funding this particular entity, say, take for example, say 25 crore rupees. Out of the 25 crores, 12 crore related exposure is guaranteed by the SID with 50% coverage. So immediately the funding agency, the bank, whichever it is, it gets a comfort that it is getting a additional collateral coverage. It is a sovereign guarantee kind of 50% is kind of a sovereign guarantee. So this one area we should explore. The lot of such projects are coming in. Even the government is promoting these projects. And lastly, friends, maybe few repetitions here and there, but budget 24, this is my last slide probably. Budget 24, one very important thing is credit guarantee scheme that is coming. Now, as far as income tax related amendments are concerned, friends, you will agree with me. You immediately get the Finance Act and the details of it. But here, many announcements which are made for MSMEs and all, we may have to wait for some more days for details to come in. But what I've understood here is for purchase of machinery and equipment without any collateral or third party guarantee on pooling of credit risk, cover up to 100 crore per borrowing pool. This is what I have understood. So, like if they say purchase of machinery and equipment and up to 100 crore, if it is 100 crore, it is not at all a MSME because they are specifically talking about purchase of machinery and equipment. Had it been, say, fund, non-fund based working capital all put together, 100 crore would have been understandable that it can be MSME. But one very important word used here is pooling of credit risk. Now, pooling of credit risk means it is maybe a pool of MSMEs which are supplying to one particular corporate buyer. There the credit risk comes in, and because it is a machinery related funding, credit risk is linked to his business. the MSME's business. So business is linked to one or two important buyers. So there they may pool 10, 20 such entities, and all put together, if there is a machinery that is coming in, that will be given in a pool, in one particular arrangement, in a cluster, and there the coverage is up to 100 crores. So this is one thing which is coming in. One very important second thing which is linked to SMA accounts, which was much awaited. In fact, few representations which, as far as I know, as far as MSMEs were concerned, was given, was a product similar to subordinate debt that was announced during COVID related measures that the government had taken. A subordinate debt product was launched in COVID, which had a moratorium period of 5 years and maybe further repayment period of 5 years. So total 10 years of credit period with a very low rate of interest kind of product, and that really helped the entities which were in trouble. Now they are talking about a additional funding during stress period by way of guarantee from a government promoted fund. Now, SMA, already as per RBI guidelines, you will agree with me, SMA reported particular account cannot be taken over, especially SMA2 reported account. There is a restriction, immediate restriction, that the takeover cannot happen. So, in a way, the SME borrower is tied up to a particular bank. Because he is SMA, he is not funded for his additional needs. He is particularly in that vicious cycle where he is not able to get the funds also, he is not able to come out of the SMA also, he is not able to shift also. So this was a real gap that was identified, and again a pronouncement, let us wait for the actual policy. So additional funding during stress period by way of guarantee from government promoted fund. So once it is a government promoted fund, banks will be freely funding, but definitely there will be limits. New credit assessment model, they are talking about increasing coverage of MSMEs for credit eligibility. So again, what is coming in, let us wait and see. They want some different credit model for assessment. As of now, for SMEs, it is one credit model, but there has to be some concession based on the, again, as I was talking about the particular report. So it should be linked to my business model. So say credit, this debtors receivable funded for 90 days. It depends on my business model. If I'm into say project based kind of a business, so my assessment model should be different. So based on that, if they want to promote something, that we need to see. Trades, we have already understood this, 500 crore se 250 crore karke. They have in a way tried to align it with medium enterprise threshold for mandatory onboarding of trades platform. And Mudra loans, rightly, from 10 lakhs, they have now increased it to 20 lakhs. So all welcome initiatives, at least pronouncements for the MSMEs. Let us wait and see how and what quickly they bring the policies around this. Friends, as a last statement, better the liquidity, best is the profit. This is, we chartered accountants, we understand this very well. A CRISIL study says if SMEs get paid as per the provisions of MSMED Act, their profitability will go up by 15%. So the best opportunity for us is to go on telling our MSE clients that you focus on your liquidity, you will be best in your profitability. So that is my message. Thank you very much. These are my contact details. You can note them. You have any queries, you can call me, you can message me, you can mail me, so that we can have an interaction. Okay, madam, over to you.
So thank you, sir, for such an insightful session. It was truly amazing. So now we will take up some questions. We do have some. So the first question is, what are consortia and tender marketing scheme?
Consortia and tender marketing scheme.
Tender marketing scheme, yeah.
Okay. So you have to refer me from where has he read this, because consortia in general is a arrangement where two three firms they come together, and because of tender guidelines itself they can quote for that tender as a consortium. So maybe I am a newly formed company, or maybe I am a SPV. I am formed by two entities coming together as a SPV. I am a consortium in a way. So, is it a specific scheme that the participant is referring? Then I need that specific scheme. But I have not heard anything as a scheme where they are incentivizing or something. But consortia and tendering process, this is what generally is followed, where the consortia gets the tender.
Okay. So the next question is, what is meant by priority sector lending?
Okay. See, I'll explain it in 2 3 minutes. Uh, for every Indian bank, there is a target of funding to priority sector. Now that is set at 40%. So out of their total loans that they are lending, 40% has to be to the priority sectors. Now, what are the priorities? What are the priority sectors for India? So those sectors are different. Number one is agriculture. Number two is MSME. Number three is education. Number four is housing. Likewise, there are three, four more sectors like marginalized, marginalized class. Like for example, those SC/ST class. So these are also part of the priority sector. Now, out of this 40%, there are again sub targets. Like for example, there is a agriculture related sub target. There is a MSME related sub target. So bank has to balance its portfolio based on these RBI guidelines, and they have to fund 40% of their entire portfolio to these selected sectors, overall 40%, and in between those sub categories and sub targets also have to be matched. So MSME is one such priority sector target. As far as MSME are concerned, micro entities have this sub target of 7%, right? 7% for micro entities. Out of 40%, 7% should be to the micro entities. So balance small and medium, they come in other priority, and there is no specific cap on them separately. But for micro, there is a cap. So in short, priority is nothing but priority of the nation. Priority of the nation is these sectors, and the target is given to the bank to fund.
Okay. So the next question is, how do banks assess the working capital requirements of borrowers?
It's a topic for you for one more program, madam, for ICA on the
Okay.
lighter side. But ideally, there are thumb rules. Like even suppose I am starting a new business today. So my thumb rule, or for any bank's thumb rule, there is a concept called maximum permissible bank finance. Also, there is a thumb rule called not more than 20% of your projected turnover. During COVID, if I'm not wrong, or before COVID, in fact, fortunately, for MSMEs, this threshold of 20% of turnover was increased to 25% of turnover. But prudent is not more than 15% of turnover. So, and then there is a concept called net working capital. Net working capital, 75% of the net working capital. So there are multiple parameters to it. There are methods that are defined. There are models that are defined by the banks for themselves. There are a few old guidelines also which the RBI has prescribed. So it depends.
So the next question is, please explain subsidy and interest subsidy on loan process for MSME. What are the guidelines for delayed payment of dues to the MSME borrowers?
MSME borrowers delayed. What are the delayed? Last sentence.
One second. Delayed payment of dues to the MSME borrowers.
Delayed. Okay. So the as far as borrower is concerned, delayed payment as of now is not aligned. But I'll start with his first part. What are the incentives on interest? So as I said, I have explained
Subsidy
it.
and interest subsidy. Yeah.
That's what. So this MSME gift, which I explained, is an interest subvention scheme up to 2 crores for green initiative. So I can definitely, you can share this PPT with all if they have any specific question. In fact, I have shared the website also, green.msme.gov.in. This is the website. If you go and log in, you get two schemes in front of you. It has a detailed guideline, it has a detailed eligibility criteria that is given. So that is part number one. Part number two, delayed payments, and if he's mentioning about the borrower, then there is a disconnect. If it is delayed payment and a supplier, then MSME Samadhan is there. Delayed payment, borrower, as of now, there is no special dispensation. 90 days is the criteria for classifying a entity, classifying a borrower as NPA. 0 to 30 it is SMA 1, 0 SMA 0, SMA 1 is 30 to 60, and SMA 2 is 60 to 90. So these are the buckets that the bank normally classifies. So I think that's it.
Okay. So one more question. Is there a time frame within which the bank are required to implement the rehabilitation package?
So now rehabilitation package, he's talking maybe about the restructuring guidelines of the RBI, because I have not spoken about anything about the rehabilitation package here. Can you repeat the question once?
Huh. Is there a time frame within which the banks are required to implement the rehabilitation package?
Okay, so if I understand it rightly, it is linked something related to restructuring of the loan, and there that rehabilitation package is defined, the rehabilitation period is defined, there is a performance period that is defined. So one has to go through the detailed guidelines of restructuring of advances. As per, there is only one circular as far as restructuring is concerned. So he has to go through that.
Okay. So the last question is, does this subsidy available to charging station of e-vehicle?
Charging station subsidy is basically a service provider charging station under green initiative. Yes, you can definitely try that because you have invested in this particular charging station. But as a service provider, whether you will be made eligible or not is a basic question. But it's a good question. You can ask, you can touch base your nearest CDB branch, whatever is there, and you can get the clarity from
So I guess we are done with the questions. So sir, thank you so much for your time and expertise, and thank you to all the participants for joining in today. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you all.
I guess it's